Less than a Star Warrior Chronicles, Prophesied King. After F2's departure, Francisco continues his search for the shift stones. In the process, he sends Mikey and Sora to go see if he can make amends with F2. On their search, they learn that F2 is no longer go by that name, but now goes by Anti-Francisco, or Anto for short, and he has a certain robot named Anti-10 as they seek to make their own business. With the help of our heroes, he manages to get his business off the ground, and even make it somewhat successful to the point where he can even rival Francisco's. However, they soon learn that he isn't exactly being truthful about his inventions, and that he's been plagiarizing mostly everyone else's invention. The heroes call him out for it and send the police to... Stop, pause for one pause.
Oh, the police.
They send the police after him to put into his plagiarizing ways. And with the downfall of his business, Anto leads to a down spiral where he ends up deciding if he wants to get himself that successful, he must follow one way to help him get back on top. That way being the bounty that's upon our heroes. Episode 14. Anto's New Groove. It was getting chillier by the second, yet because of their location it was still relatively warm. They had spent the evening taking a break as they watched TV in Francisco's lab, except for the scientist who was eagerly waiting for something. I wonder what Anto's up to. Didn't you guys say he's randomly disappeared after that whole plagiarism thing? I'm sure he's doing fine. You need to take time to think about your mistakes before you move on with something. He then looks behind the TV to see Francisco wait patiently. It's not right, Anaheim. Francisco notices he was being called, but still remains still as he spoke. I do worry for him, yet that's not what I'm focusing on. Ted left ages ago to get the shift stones I found, but he hasn't returned yet. I'm beginning to fear that he might have gotten caught with something. Like what? What's the worst that can happen? He looked back anxiously as he stared at Cody. Could you imagine if people like Darky or Team Medic were holding those things? Cody thought for a moment and he brushed it off. Darky, based on what his mom said, seemed too preoccupied at the moment, while Team Magnet are a bunch of idiots. I'm sure he's fine. Francisco is still worried as the sun went down to make an orange color to the sky. They was outside with a cigarette in his mouth as Mikey and Sora still watched TV. Cody seemed to be busy rustling through a closet that is his room.
Did you know he smoked?
Mikey shrugged his shoulders as he still watched. Don't mean a thing to me. If he wants to destroy his lungs, let him. I'm more concerned about other things at the moment. And the voice of Cody started to become louder.
Are you stuck in there?
Cody didn't respond as he stopped for a moment. With a short cheer, he pulled something out that excited him. Found it. I knew I kept it somewhere here. He brought out a console with 2 controllers on it. It seemed to be new. Mikey and Sora noticed as well.
What's that?
Seems like a weird toaster. Cody laughed as he brought it over. Thanks to the profit that Anto made through my father's machine, I decided to save some for myself.
That's cold, man.
First off, I helped decide that thing. Secondly, my father let me have some of the money since one of his trips led him here. Though I asked to see him, he only showed up for a day and left. We spent the day seeing what we wanted to do with the money we got. He used it for his retirement while I splurged on some of the hottest things. This, of course, being the new home console. Oh, I heard about those things. Didn't that thing come out 6 years ago? Cody laughed after hearing that. You're thinking of the older model. This is a new one, designed with a better technology. Wanna give this baby a spin? So and I looked at each other for input, and they nodded with grins. Cody plugs in the TV with glee. Unfortunately, only 2 players can play on it, similar to the last one. But I think it should be fine. We'll just take turns. Besides, it'll help build dynamic, so let's see what you 2 got. He hands the controller and takes out a cartridge to put in the console, on top. He puts the TV with the correct signal, and they see the boot up for the game. Yet the 2 kids look confused as they held the controller. What are you guys doing? How do you work this thing?
So, it appears that both of us never played a video game before.
Where'd your guys' childhood go? I just give awkward looks. You know what? It's fine. I can teach you. He takes Mikey's controller with confidence. I played a couple games when the first one came out. I'm kinda good at these things. He showed him the ropes as David continued to smoke outside. He also sees Francisco way outside and too far from him as he looked at the sky. He seems stressed. Want one? Francisco noticed him pull out his pack. I don't smoke, but thanks for the concern. He puts it back with a calmer look. Understandable. I don't do it a lot myself. I only do it on days when I feel homesick. My other friend Francine got me into it as well. He then takes off as he coughed out a few clouds. I see. You do know it's bad for your lungs? Yes, I am well aware. David gives him an annoyed look as Francisco nods in understanding. Right. Anyway, don't worry too much about me. I'm eager for a 10th return. I know his location is far away, but he never takes us on to do something. I guess not all machines are good enough yet. Machinery was never my forte, though I can at least do a few things with it, such as a suit or a certain robot. This whole rocket science thing is new to me, but it's enough to get our home back. So it is. Francisco thinks for a moment as they both stand there. What was the task given to you, if you don't mind me asking? David takes out his cigarette from his mouth and gives a straight look. My whole mission was to finally protect Mikey until he fulfills his prophecy. Why do you ask? I'm just curious. I wanted to know what your purpose is. But is that your only task? David gives him a curious look. What I mean is, what do you plan to do after Mikey wins? He thinks for a second and looks back with a smile. Baker Gang and I are going to start ready to make a home for ourselves there, I guess. Where is this coming from? The thing is that I dedicated my whole life to science. My parents were part of the top researchers of Meteorite Academy, which made me pursue the same thing. And once I dipped my toes in it, it fascinated me to the point where I wanted to learn everything about it. It's a bit of an obsession, I must add. So I find it weird that you don't have something like that. David gives us another straight look. Not everyone is super committed to their thing, Anaheim. Sometimes people just want to go with the flow, you know? I mean, I guess I'm obsessed with getting my own back, but that's it. After that's done, all I want to do is feel at one with life with the people I care about. I don't feel like I need to make any big accomplishments. Not saying I shouldn't, it's more that I don't need to. Picking it up? Yeah, I think I get it, and maybe that's a good thing. I push so many people away because of this obsession, like Anto. I'm starting to think, is all of that worth it? To do what many other world scientists did before me? Or did I waste all of this time to have nothing to show for it? That's the enigma, isn't it? The actor stood there as the cigarette was at his last legs. He puts it out as he comes to a thought. I suppose that's a sacrifice for letting life pass you by. I look at it as a damned if you do and damned if you don't. Francisco looks down conflicted. Then again, I could also be wrong, which begs the question, how do you see it? Do you feel like all you did and probably will do is worth it? Francisco thinks it over. Only time will tell at this point. And after all, I come this far. Might as well go the rest of the way. David nods with a smile as they hear the cheering fun they play their video games. They look back at the house with another grin. And hey, maybe those relationships you could have made were worth it. It's never too late to make them. They didn't hear another noise come towards them as well. It seemed to be a black car that had weird music playing loudly. It was so loud the kids came out to see what's going on. We don't mind you having a puff, but can you keep it down? They see a black car parked in front of them as the kids get their surprised looks. The far door opens to have a peculiar robot come out, for it was Anti-10.
Presenting his greatness, the resurgence of Anti-Francisco, otherwise known as Anto.
He goes over to open the door to have Anto come out with sunglasses over his eyes.
What's up, bitches? Miss me?
The group gives away their surprised looks for grins. Glad to finally see you again.
You aren't mad about the whole ruining your business because you committed a felony thing, are you?
Anto gave a short laugh as he heard that.
Mad? No, in fact, you were right. I guess I did know how to create my own thing without inspiration. That's all in the past. Besides, I got new ambition in life. One that could help me get my life back on track. And once again, I'm going to need your help.
The group looks confused as Anto takes off his sunglasses. What do you need us to do?
It's simple. In fact, it's practically nothing. I need you guys to die for me.
I'm sorry, what? About the breezes of blast Anto blaster gun out from his storage watch.
You heard me. Die.
He smirks as he fires another shot. The members dodge and immediately got into defensive stance. What are you doing?
Only getting my restitution. That has been long deserved.
Restitution? Anto had his robot pull out the one poster that had our heroes on it. They all won their eyes with this revelation.
Now, during the tragic event of my trusted friends, especially you two, viciously backstab me in such a way that rips my heart out in the process, I discovered this. It had seemed to slip my mind that you are wanted by your greatest enemy, and the price is anything I want. I think it's fitting, you know, You ruined my life, and now I get to ruin yours.
He smiles again as he fires another shot towards Mikey's direction. He dodges as he brings out his sword. Sora and David got their attacks ready as well.
We don't want to fight you, Anto. You should have thought of that when you had the chance. You guys and Francisco are one and the same, talking about making amends after you fuck me over. Well, no more. I'm not letting heartbreak get to me any longer. You can only help yourself out there. And the way I can help myself is getting back on top. And if it means hurting the people who hurt me, then I will be in favor of it.
We try again, talking to him, Francisco told him not to. Remember, he isn't thinking straight. No matter how many times you tell him, he'll keep attacking. He's right. Let's get this clone. The two kids lovingly nodded, but before they attacked, they heard someone glide from above the roof of the car. It was Cody in his Eagle Man outfit. Never fear, for the bird of justice has arrived. Anto looked back as he puts his gun away.
Ah, yes, how could I forget? The hero in the group.
He brings out a different gun to shoot two blasters. Cody uses the booster to dodge and go in for attack.
Damn, that is a good suit.
He goes in for a diving kick attack with a pride. Let me show you something I've been working on. My signature move, the diving eagle bomb attack! As he connects, he feels a blue shield with a hit. He jumps off as he notices Anto laugh hard.
Did you seriously think I would just stand there and let you hit me? Ridiculous.
Mikey tries to slash his sword on it, but the shield was attacked as well. Anto laughs some more as Sora and David try to find an opening. That shield is a serious pain to deal with.
You guys make this too easy. It's actually surprising that Darky has to send a bounty on you. But hey, revenge is still revenge.
Mikey stepped back. He then looks over to Sora and David's still looking. That is until David spots something. Sora, let's use our abilities to blind him. Sora nodded and she brought out her light as David uses Phoenix to distract his vision.
Bright as it is, you can't defeat me through that strategy.
Megan charges Sora beam from the side of the distraction. He won the shield and Mikey performed flawlessly, albeit a little disoriented at the end. This broke the shield. The light went away for Anto to notice, and he quickly wasted no time to attack the distracted Mikey.
You completed phase 1, but that's not all up my sleeve.
Punches him in the back with his mechanical hand, but barely hurts him. Also, Anto notices this, and he brought the boys' attention. Quit with this nonsense. We're sorry about what happened to you.
Still on about that?
He felt another die kit from Cody as he was preparing it during the commotion. Finally, a successful hit. Anto went to the ground in pain as Mikey nervously looked at him. Francisco came over to his clone concerningly. Did you get it all out of your system? If you want to be an actual adult about this, how about we talk about it instead of recklessly fighting? Francisco held his hand out in comfort. Anto seemed to want to reach for it, but swallowed it away as he jumped back up himself.
Where was that mindset when you screwed me? My life's work is in shambles, and now you want to be the White Knight? Damn every single one of you. Your repercussions will come one day. Anti-10!
The robot nodded and rushed over to help take Anto's hand. He tried his treadmill foot to show a booster blaze through it. It launches him in the sky. He flipped him off as they were flying away. I guess he doesn't want to be mature about this. Francisco seems even more disappointed as they flew away. Oh, Anto. From a distance, Joe and Adrian watched the fight happen and the group heading back inside. Hear that, Adrian?
Looks like we can get some new recruits.
They both seriously smiled as they walked away. The scene then cuts back to a different rundown shack on the outskirts of town. It only had the room that was messy with metal parts of paper. Anti-10 was treating Anto's injuries as they sat there.
You almost had them, sir. I think that deserves a treat.
Anto seemed frustrated that he didn't accept the cookie. He gets up to look through some of the papers.
Those idiots may have got the best of me now, but they'll soon regret crossing me. One of these guns has to do the trick. Obviously, those weapons aren't good enough.
Kara knocked at the door as he was searching. He orders Anti-10 to investigate, and he does so by opening the door.
I said investigate, not let them in.
Welcome, travelers. May I offer you a cookie?
It was Joe who stood confidently on the other side. I appreciate the offer, but I'm pretty full as is. Robot nodded, but was pushed away by Anto.
Whatever business you have with us, take it somewhere else.
Joe gave a slick grin as he saw the cyborg. So, you're the famous Anto I heard about.
Oh, good. You heard of me. Now get out.
He points angrily as Joe didn't budge. Now, hold on. I don't want to get us into trouble. I'm only here to give you an offer. Anto points harder after hearing that. It could benefit both of us.
Don't care. Didn't ask.
It relates to the group he attacked earlier. Don't just turn down with a weird expression.
How did you know?
Don't worry about it. Anyway, my name's Joe Slinger of Team Magnet, and I want to enlist you with the team. Anto gave a confused look as Joe put his hand out for an offer. Here's the thing, you and us are after the same thing. We want that reward to get our lives back on track, and killing them is necessary. Now, as it pains me to say it, they're too strong for the three of us. But if you have another member, one that is versatile as you, then we might have something talking here. Anto thought for a moment but shook his head in denial.
No thanks. Been there, done that. I'm better off working alone.
He walks back to the show with a satisfied expression. Are you sure? They kicked your ass earlier.
Correction. They only got the best of me then.
Joe thought for a moment and he hatched an idea. We can supply you with anything you need. Anything at all. Guns, equipment, you name it. Anto's gonna let him off again, but he stopped as he hatched his own idea.
Give me a second to think.
He closes the door slowly as he turns back to those robots.
You're considering?
Anto gave a quiet laugh.
Not necessarily. I have a better idea in mind.
After all discussing, he opens the door to the patiently waiting Joe.
On second thought, I might hear you out about that offer.
Joe gave a smirk as he motioned to follow. They went deeper into the city to a tall building that had the Team Magnet symbol on the top. Joe had both the clone and the robot there as guests.
You guys take shop here?
One of the places, the boss has been at bases across the country. It's only a temporary one until we get that reward, you feel me? He leads them to the clean and shiny lobby and towards the elevator. Follow me, the boss would like to meet you personally. They enter the elevator that will lead to the highest floor. They awkwardly waited there as it went up.
So, what got you into this mess?
Oh, just was a style bound hunter looking for work. No one hired me because I had no ability, but I didn't stop him from hiring. Anto nodded in understanding as they continued to stand there. You know, I told the boss I didn't need a building that is this big for the four, well, soon to be 6 of us. Yet here we are. Anto gave a nervous laugh as the elevator stopped at the highest floor. It opened up to see a nicely clean lobby that leads to another room. Adrian was there as well as she waited for them.
Took you long enough.
Hey, how do I tell him about a small base? Adriana sighed as she followed into the next room.
He's just in there. Try to make a good first impression.
Anto looked at her weirdly as they entered the room. Just a tip, don't do anything to piss him off. Okay, good luck. He opens the door to the darker room that only had the light from the window shining through. On the other side had Pearson by a desk along with Dark Nut standing seriously beside him. Anto friend, how nice to finally meet you.
Actually, my real name is Anti-Francisco.
I heard from Joe that you had an interest in joining our team. Anto looked at him awkwardly and walked around the table to get closer to him.
That's correct. If it isn't too much trouble.
Pearson got real close to study him. A bit scrawny, but I think it would fit in nicely. What do you say, Dark Nut? Whatever makes you happy, boss. Pearson nods understanding as he turns back to him. So, Anto, you think you have what it takes to be a member of Team Magnet?
As long as you don't reject me like the others, then yes, I do.
Pearson gave a short laugh. Reject? Why would we do that? All of us here were rejected. Joe by his fellow workers. Adriana over here tried to be an entertainer before her ability got her fired. Hell, if I actually had an animal body. You think I was always ahead? I used to look like that. He points over to Dark Nut still standing there studiously. We have no reason to reject anyone who wants to work with us. You join Team Magnet. You join our family. Does that sound like rejection? Anto shook his head. I thought so. Welcome to the team, Anto and Anti-10. He shakes their hands before Anti-10 brings out some cookies.
Would you like a complimentary cookie for letting us join?
Pearson gives another laugh as he looks at him. I like your robot here. He's adorable. If I was in Magonian, I would say yes. But we Magonians don't eat stuff like that. In fact, it's quite harmful to us. The robot looked down as he held his plate. You can offer it to Adriana. She would love some. But that's for later. Let's focus on the now. Darna walks over with a piece of paper in his hand. Time to see what you're made of. We heard that Francisco's robot is flying back there with some pretty powerful material.
The shift stones.
Look at that, making an impact already. You and the other three will go and steal that from him. With its power, we can for sure use it to defeat the crew. I'm sure you know how it works.
Of course I do. I spent a few weeks studying it.
Good. Then it's imperative that we get it. Dark Knight will lead you to weaponry to get what you need. Good luck, Anto. The scene cuts to the five in the weaponry. Adriana was feasting on the cookies that the robot offered as Anto shoves some of the guns into his wrist. You have to watch, got there.
Glad you think so. This'll be the key to our victory.
Darna walks over a little annoyed. If you slack-offs are finished, the robot is flying away from the spy area. The all-night as Darna let them out. He holds back Anto and Anti-10 with a stern look. The boss has a lot of high hopes for you, so don't disappoint.
Whatever you say, man.
Laurent leaves with the same look.
Anyway, Inside Tin, you still got that spare watch I gave you? Of course, sir. You specifically told me not to lose it.
Anto gave a slick smirk after hearing that.
Good.
The scene then cuts to the team on the outskirts of the city. They were sticking out to hopefully encounter 10 in the path. You sure he's here? I don't see any sign of that robot anywhere. It was quiet as the breeze blew by.
We're here a little early. Besides, I want to get more of those cookies.
Anti-10 giggled as he popped some from his stomach. Dark Knight and Anto sat by as they waited. Anto notices him looking especially back.
You don't trust me, don't you?
That's just Dark Knight. He's generally distrusting people he meets the first day. Someone has to, considering that our boss made that vile mistake. Joe rolled his eyes as Dark Knight got up from his position. On our home planet, Pierce didn't have to wage a brutal civil war. I wasn't in support of him all the way, only to find out he was being led on by a mysterious voice. I don't know his name or who it was exactly, but he manipulated him to cause that war.
What's wrong with fighting with what you believe?
What's wrong is that commanding his army to be as vicious as possible. We lost almost everything that day, and since we're on the losing side of the war, we were exiled because of it.
Sounds rough.
I'll never forgive that man for what he did, and it's because of that is what led to me being as trustful as possible.
Got it. I respect that wish.
Joe walks over with a more welcoming look. Don't take it too personally. He was like that with all of us. I remember the first day I joined, he absolutely hated me. I still do. Joe gave a quick laugh as Adriana finished her last cookie.
That's okay, Not. We hate you too.
Both Joe and Adriana laughed as Anto studied them.
What a happy family.
It didn't hurt the rushing noise of 10 flying by with a vase of crystals. It was too far away, but he was saying something to himself. Vase, heavy, still, with power left, must give to Master Francisco. They'll look up to confirm it was him. Joe gets Anto's intention. Want to see me hit him easily? Joe aims towards the flying robot and he fires a bullet that hits his arm. He drops his vase because of it, but flew down quickly to grab it. Nice shot. Now let's get on the attack. The three leapt as the antis stayed back.
Shall I do the thing, sir?
Anto nodded confidently as they followed. 10 keeps flying as he notices the three medic members follow.
You there. We believe you have something of ours.
10 picks up the pace and flew away. You shall not steal. See? Even he knows we can. I kept chasing and started held back with his vision. Wait, he's gonna use a stone. They both look back at him weirdly. 10 takes a stone from the vase and activates it. Time slows to a crawl, allowing him a few seconds to fly back into the air. Time restores back to normal in the process. The stones are no longer at full power, but good enough to get me back. Many members stared up annoyed.
Now what?
They feel nervous behind him as they see Anto ride along Anti-10's back as they boost up to this level. 10 noses in a frantic gesture.
going somewhere.
10 reaches back in, but Anto points at his companion to move forward. It's too late as time slows down once more, giving 10 ample time to leave. Time soars once again as he sees he's far ahead of him.
What now, sir?
Anto thinks for a moment and he stares at the vase intriguingly. With an idea in mind, he knows exactly what to do.
Keep pace. Full speed ahead as we aim for the vase.
He does so as 10 goes in for another one. It's about to slow down time again, but Anti-10 bumps the vase from his claws. The vase begins to fall as Anto and Co. made a mad dash towards it. 10 was faster, surprisingly, pushed Anto off his vehicle. Anti-10 tries to reach for it, but with a faster speed, 10 gets in and flies away in a hurry. Anti-10 was more concerned to see if Anto was alright than keeping chase. The Meta members caught up as well during the time. Adrian checked on the engine of Anto as Joe and Darknut looked at the sky. Damn, he sure is a fickle one. Looks like we're gonna have to do this the hard way. Have you ever robbed someone before? Haven't done that in a long time. Regardless, how's he doing? Adrian looks up as Anto grows in pain.
He'll be fine. Just some bruises, that's all.
Darknut held his hand out to help him. Oh, that was a hell of an effort. Anto reciprocates as he gets up with something in his hand. Dark knows it with interest. What you got there? And there goes a smirk as he opens his hand. It was one of the shift stones as it gleamed from his palm.
Guess you can say this wasn't a complete waste of time.
The other members came over with glee.
Impressive. Maybe we can pull this off with one.
Seeing what the robot did, there's plenty of possibilities we can accomplish. Dot looks at Anto directly. As the smartest one here, see how you can make the most of it. Anto nods confidently. They head back to the base as Anto works on the stone and watch in a separate room. Members wait outside anxiously as they await his discovery.
What kind of brilliant thing could he be working on? I hope it's a camera.
I don't need to be rude, but what use will a camera have in his mission? She wants to make a home movies, obviously.
Yeah, and besides, I don't see you making any suggestions.
Joe thought as he shrugged his shoulders. Maybe a time gun or something? It makes more sense though for a camera. He almost died for that thing as a reminder. Which means whatever he's working on better be important. They hear a door open to see Anto proudly stand there with the third watch on his mechanical arm that had the yellow stone.
Behold, the time watch. To fit with my shield and storage, it can make me one of the most versatile fighters this world has ever seen.
He looked up and on as the claws of Pearson came over. Mighty impressive, Anto. How does it work? And they'll give a devilish grin, grab a hold of Anti-10, and activates it quickly. It slowed time to a crawl as expected. Looks over to his robot confidently.
Is it time to begin Project Takeover Magnet Base?
Anto walks over to Pearson and kicks his head off a chair quickly.
Sooner than we expected, but yes.
Time back to normal as a crew saw Pearson off the chair in vain. Amazing, but why did you do it like that? Anto said nothing as he pulled out a big laser gun from a storage watch and shot Darknut out of the building. Joe and Adrian looked over to see him fall, but he used his sword to slow down his ascent. He landed on the ground unscathed, but the action has already been spoken. What's going in here? Anto walks over with the same grin.
Twice have I been betrayed by people I used to call friends. Did it ever occur to you why I was going to drop all of that because we have the same goal?
Joe and Adriana prepared their stuff as they fired at him, but he used the time watch again to slow down time.
So idiotic.
He fires a gun and blasts both of them out of the building as well. Time resumed as Darknut was able to catch him. Anto stood at the edge of the hole in the wall.
The only reason I joined you guys was to get my own base and better equipment. When that happens, I will betray you before you get the chance to.
He didn't notice Pearson resembled himself. Unfortunately, he didn't realize that you pissed off the wrong person. He launched his claws at him and only for Anto's shield to spawn out.
I'm sorry, were you saying something?
Pearson looked at him angrily as sparks flew on his head. Thunder cracked in the background as the three on the ground looked on nervously. Great, now the boss is gonna use his ability.
If he does, I'm not cleaning that mess up again.
Back in the building, Pearson angrily looked at him as he charged up. Before he unleashed it, however, Anto slowed down time to stop the attack.
I'm not sure what ability you have, but that doesn't mean a thing. I hope you like the ground.
But should check out the building as time comes back too. In the process, Pearson had stopped charging whatever it was to prepare for the fall. He did, and the others ran for supports.
Okay, he's got us now. But wait until he sees all 4 of us coming at him.
Susan looks up to see Anto stare down at him. With a stern look, he stops the others from entering. They regroup later. Now is not the time to retaliate. They looked at him wearily but went along with it, seeing how there was nothing else they could do. We'll retreat for now, but we'll come back to our base later. He runs away as Anto walks back towards the main office. Anti-10 follows as they walk back.
Mark this down. Shift stone runs for 5 seconds and use a 5-second cooldown in order to recharge. Got it, sir. And also allow me to congratulate you on a roaring victory.
Anto proudly smirks as he sits on the desk.
As to be expected. Now then, time to move on to step 2. It's time to create the Legion of Ansi. Once that's finished, we can finally take the fight to them. That reward will soon be ours.
He laughs maniacally as Anti-10 does the same. Meanwhile, 10 arrived back in the lab with a vase of shift stones on the desk. Had a run-in, but got all back with all in there. Francisco stays him as the kids play games in their room. The hair doorbell rang from the entrance as well. Cody, be in there and get it. Cody sighs as he handed his controller to Sora. Take off me for this 1 second. He walks over the door with an annoyed expression. Harris is better have something important. He opens the door to see Layden and certainly stand there on the other side. Cody gives him a surprised look as he stands there. Trial 2. A fight against Anto has been active. I wish you luck on your second trial. Layden walks away as Cody still seems surprised. Right. Anyway, back to game playing. He closes the door as the goes and takes his place back in the room.